It was a little sensation when they announced the new Blair Witch, because the movie that's now Blair Witch was first advertised as The Woods. At Comic-Con they dropped the bomb and the horror community was raving, and the first reviews are hyping the movie as the next big horror revelation. So is it? Well, I think it's very effective and scary, and I can't tell you the last time I was this frightened, or maybe not frightened but nervous and tense while watching a movie. The original Blair Witch Project is 17 years old. Even its sequel, which is retconned by now, was released 16 years ago. So was anyone really clamoring for a new entry? Not really, but now that it's here, everyone seems to be happy nevertheless. Blair Witch Project was a big thing back when it came out. It cost nothing and made a huge amount of money. And its idea was something new back in a time when the internet wasn't what it is today. It was a found footage movie way before the term got loathed by many people, before the Paranormal Activity franchise. There were even people out there who kind of believed the actors were really vanished from the face of the earth. It was viral marketing in its earliest and most effective form. Of course, the new one can't redo that, but by dropping the movie as a surprise, similar to this year's 10 Cloverfield Lane, they created great anticipation. But now let's talk about the movie. It's basically very similar to the original one, as it tells the story of a small group of friends who are out in the woods with their camera equipment. In the first one, they were looking for the Blair Witch, and this time the brother of the girl from the original one is looking for his lost sister and is therefore in the woods with his friends with their camera equipment. This time the team is a little bit bigger, and instead of 3 people we get 6. Fortunately, the team dynamic is quite entertaining and the actors are doing a good job. The first third is them going into the woods. The second one, of course, the first nights with some scary stuff happening.
Oh my god.
And then the last third is pure terror.
Oh my god.
I think I like the middle part the less, because the movie often depends on your typical jump scares. There are many times where nothing is really happening, but just one person scares the other shitless, and the audience as well, if you're easy to scare, because the person is just appearing out of nowhere. Of course, accompanied by a loud sound effect. I find that to be rather cheap, and honestly I hated it ever since Halloween Age 20 did it like 100 times during its 90 minutes. Back in the days when we were watching horror movies on a regular basis with some friends, I always referred to this as the Halloween Age 20 effect.
You gotta give me a chance, honey. I have to express myself creatively. We're paying the bills, aren't we? Ah, fuck me, shit!
They also use many digital glitches as scene transitions. Those found footage movies always count on the audience suspension of disbelief, and because some of their cameras are attached to their heads, it was okay for the most part, but those strange, unrealistic glitches weren't helpful. Another concern I had with the movie was its missed potential. For example, they had a drone with them, and I was hoping for some cool scenes with that drone, like discovering something really weird from a bird's perspective, but what really happened with that drone was kind of underwhelming. I also think the forest they are in could have been explored a little bit more, and what I mean with that is that it's a little bit monotonous. I mean, I don't expect an adventure movie, but for most of the time it feels like a narrow path with a green wall of forest stuff to the left and a green wall of forest stuff to the right. It's been ages since I saw the first one, but I think there was a little bit more variety to it. Here we have only a small camping place with the tents of our group. But at least the creepy stick figures are back, and they did also some very cool, very creepy stuff with the element of time. But I won't spoil that here. And for the last third of the movie, wow, that was some scary stuff. The use of music, and yes, there's music in a found footage movie, even if it's very subtle ambient stuff, is great, and as you've seen in the trailer, they go back to that shack from the original. It's a great set, and I could literally feel my heart bumping in my chest And there were also some nuances of body horror and a very claustrophobic scene which I quite liked. So in the end I enjoyed Blair Witch, even if it doesn't really bring anything that new to the table. If you're into this kind of horror movie, you should definitely check it out on the big screen, and if they're not playing it loud, go tell them to turn up the volume. I'm slightly leaning towards 7 out of 10. Alright, that's it. Like always, please tell me in the comments below what you think about Blair Witch. And also, did you see the first one? Or maybe even the second one? And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.